Going to be talking about supplements today. I've got a couple of minutes, so I might just wait a little bit. Now, first of all, we get so many questions about supplements. Do they work? Which ones to use? Are they effective? Do we really need them? And I suppose every one of you guys are either taking supplements or know someone that's taking supplements. The first question is, do we really need them? Well, when we look at the soil, the soil in the food we eat, it's at a record low as far as bricks readings go. I hope you have a pad and pen, because there's going to be a lot of good points here. Now, with the soil, we know that soils are deficient all over the world, and you can't hear me. Oh, sorry. Is that better? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now, love? Yes. The boss said you can hear me now. So we got soils, and soils are deficient all over the world. I wrote a little book about soil called Soil Dead or Alive. Is your food your medicine or your poison? And I was researching some Dr. Reams material. Dr. Reams from way back in the 40s and 50s, and he did some research that when the bricks readings were at a certain level, between like 12. Now write that number down, because I'm going to come back to that and connect it to young living plants. 12 for vegetables and 20 for fruit. He found that the food was medicine, right? And when the bricks readings were low, the food was not healing people. Now, the food is supposed to be our medicine. These days, I've been checking food all over Australia, and even organics. And with organics, we have a reading of 6. So even organics are pretty low. And supermarket food is between 2 and 4. So we're not getting nutrients. So of course we need supplements. Now, this is a bricks meter that I use. I think every home should have one. These are great things. So you put a couple of drops of the juice of the plant on there and put the cap over it and have a look, and you'll get a reading. I think they're a must. I've got a few more on my website. So soils are deficient. We need some sort of backup. Otherwise, where are we going to get the nutrition from? You know, and people say, oh, you've got to get on a vegan plant food diet. And I kind of agree with that, because I'm 95% vegan. But there's so many sick vegans, and I'm not criticising. This is an observation over 35 years of experience. There's 3 types of vegans, at least. You got the raw food vegans, which many times, 90% of them I see that are very sick, because you wouldn't give raw food to an infant or an elderly person because they can't absorb it. But people say, oh, they're packed full of nutrition and enzymes. Well, hang on. If you study the physiology of the body, where are the enzymes coming from? When you start chewing, what happens? You got enzymes releasing from your saliva, amylase, and then pancreatic enzymes, hydrochloric acid, enzymes from the gut and bowels. So the enzymes are in your system. They're not. This is a big topic, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this. But the enzymes are in your system, not so much the food. If the digestive enzymes were in the food, you wouldn't have any food to chew. So That's physiology, or part of it anyway. So you got the raw food vegans. They say you have to have 80 to 100% raw food, which is not very good these days because our body cannot handle it. And then you've got the other side of the scale, which you can eat anything, but don't eat animal products. So you can eat your sugar, your wheat, your yeast, your omega-6 oils, and you'll be right. So that group is just the sick, they've found. And then you've got the middle group, which is fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, legumes. You make sure, if you're a vegan, you want to be balanced. You want to make sure you get your B12, your fatty acids, and your proteins. Otherwise it's not going to be balanced. You're going to have a problem. But whichever way you go, we're all deficient. I have never seen anyone in my clinic in 35 years that's not deficient. I am yet to check Alan's blood. He may not be deficient. He's been on the essential oils for 20 odd years, so he might be pretty good. And then you've got the average Australian diet, which is meat and 3 veg. They're all deficient. So we're all deficient in something, and it starts in the soil. So we need to either build the soil up, and if you want to read articles on soil, it can still be built up. It's a bit of work, but read my articles on my website, www.lifestreamhealth.net.au. There's all sorts of articles on there, including oils and soil. So you take the S off the soil, and what do you got? Oil, the good oil. That's what we need. That's one of the missing links. And also you can look up high bricks gardening. Google it. So we need some sort of supplements, but do they all work? This is the point. I've been looking at people's blood for over 30 years, and I'm not seeing any changes when people are using general supplements. More about that in a minute. But you've got different types of supplements. What do you got? You got about 75% of the supplements off the shelf are what? They're made by the pharmaceutical companies. Do we want to support them? A lot of them are synthetic, right? I would say, this is my opinion, you might as well take a drug. They can do just as much damage as a drug, some of these synthetic vitamins and minerals, because when we see the cell, and you've probably heard this a lot from Alan, that the receptor sites have to be cleaned, and you have to have the right supplements and the right notes, and all the notes, and the right frequency for those receptors to be clean. Otherwise they're going to be clogged. All the chemicals and the pesticides and the cleaning products we use, and the all those sorts of things, and the artificial supplements we use are clogging our receptors. Okay, so we need to get on the right track, and most of you guys are, so that's a good thing. So 3/4 of the supplements on the market are synthetic or made by a pharmaceutical company. Then you've got 25 years ago, there's a supplement came out. I'm not going to mention any company names, but it was a fruit and veggie in a cap, and I thought, yay, we got something here. Little did I know that when you think about it, excuse me, what happens when you juice a fruit and veggie? You pull it apart from nature, from the way it was in nature. You pull it apart. When you expose omega-3 to light and oxygen and heat, what happens? It goes rancid. So if you juice fruit and veggies, then you dry them, then you put them in a capsule, you're going to have a rancid capsule. It's just like what is it, omega-3 flaxseed oil. It's already excuse me, it's already rancid before you start drinking it, or before you buy it. It's already rancid. Same with fish oils. They're pretty toxic, except for the omega gyres, because that's made a special way by pulling out the mercury, distilling out the mercury, and putting in the clove oil, which protects it. So the fruit and veggie in a cap, that's not ideal either, because they're already rancid. And then you've got practitioner-only supplements, and I'm just touching the surface here because of time. Then you've got the practitioner-only supplements, which I've used for years and years. And yes, we did help a lot of people, but I could never get the blood to look the way I want it to do. I could never get the blood right the way I wanted it, or the way they wanted it. There was always something. The blood was improving, but it wasn't really healing. And like I said before, I'm not saying they don't work. I'm just saying there's something better out there that we have. Thanks to God. So we got the practitioner-only supplements, and when you think about it, when man tries to make a molecule in a lab, it's the same molecule, but it's never exactly the same as what the body needs. It's never exactly the same. It's the same molecule, but it's slightly different. It only has to be slightly different. It only has to be 1 or 2 or 3 megahertz out, and the cells will react a different way. Does that make sense? I hope this is making sense. Just type a comment in there if you like. I'll catch up with the comments later. And then after the then you got the U-Butte great technology supplements like hydrochloric acid, glutathione, ATP, SOD, NRF2, redox molecules. You got a whole stack of very clever supplements, and the research is awesome, absolutely awesome, and we need all those chemicals. And even stem cell supplements I've used. I've used all these supplements in the clinic. Now the thing is, what we got to realize is that the body makes certain chemicals, right? And don't you think the body knows how to make these chemicals? The body does know how to make them, but the problem is we have to put the body in the right environment to make those chemicals. If we start using those chemicals from the outside in, they're great for a short period, but after a while, if you start depending on them, well, the body can start depending on them, and the body will stop making that chemical. Are you following me? This is very important. Say yes or no. So the body needs to make the chemicals, but it has to have the right environment, like the right frequency, the right musical notes, the light, the energy, the ATP, all that sort of thing. So if we're putting them in, then we might have some problems long term. Short term, they could save your life, but long term could be a big problem. But again, there's a better way. So I was spending around $400 a month on some of these supplements, and here we have a lemongrass that can do a very similar thing, like create ATP and redox molecules for $20. So why would you spend $400 a month? And this is another thing. Some of these supplements work for a short period, like a split second, and then they're gone. So this is the question that I was asking. If I'm taking a dose at 8 a.m. and I'm taking a dose at 8 p.m. and research tells me that I'm getting attacked by trillions of free radicals every second, then that 12 hours I got no protection. And I backed that up with doing the live cell. When someone took a dose of some of these supplements like Redox or ATP or that glutathione, within 10 minutes of taking it, the blood did change. But then when we did it like normally an hour or two afterwards, the blood went back to being sick, if you like, or stressed. So you see, it wasn't a long-term healing. It was just a bang, short-term. You got to take that, and it sounds like you have to take it every half an hour for it to have a huge effect. Okay, well, that's not what we want in our body. We want our body to be on alert, doing what it's supposed to do for 24 hours a day, right? Is that a yes? Okay. So I'll tell you what does that. Because we have two missing links. Two missing links. I've never seen that. Getting back to the bricks. In my 35 years of buying supplements and herbs, I have never heard anyone talk about, well, they grow their crops in high brick soil. Because you know what high brick soil is? It's basically high nutrition dense soil, and the nutrition is being transformed by the actual microbes. So it's not just the nutrition in the soil, it's the microbes transforming those nutrients so the plant can take them up and use them, because the plant can't use the nutrition in the soil as they are. The microbes have to transform them. So that transforms into a high bricks reading, which is the sugar content, the good sugar in the plant. So that you got short chain polysaccharides and long chain polysaccharides. The long chain polysaccharides are what do the healing. They act as another immune system. When you have low bricks, anything, whether it's a supplement or a herb or a food, you're getting the short chain sugars which can make us sick. So when you've got diabetes or a fungal infection or cancer, you don't want to be having sugar, right? Because it'll make you sick. That'll feed the fungus. But when you're having the long chain sugars, that'll act as another immune system. Are we following? That's very important to understand that. So high bricks is very, very important. It is a missing link in our world today. And when I heard Alan spoke about it, but Dr. Gary Young spoke about high bricks on his CD. My ears pricked up, and I thought, hang on, he's got me. He's got me. He's the only one I've heard talk about high bricks, and he said, remember the figures that I said up at the start of this talk? 12 and 20 for fruit, right? Dr. Young said he grows lavender at a bricks reading of 24. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I get excited about that. If you got a plant with a bricks reading of 24 and you're putting it in an oil, you've got every missing link in that oil or in that plant. So as a result of the high bricks readings, you're going to get the high frequency, the high musical notes. So the lavender has 300 musical notes in it. So you're going to get all these high readings of everything we need. So that's one of the missing links. And the other one is, well, we've got phenols, monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes, right? You've probably heard a heap of that. The phenols clean the receptor site, and we need the receptor site clean so the nutrients can go in. And I'll talk more about the cell in another talk. I'd like to do a detox talk one day and explain how the organelles in the cell work. So we need clean receptor sites, and the sesquiterpenes deprogram the bad information that we've built up over our lifetime, and the monoterpenes come in and tune up the musical frequency. That is amazing. That's another missing link there. We've got all the musical notes in these oils, and I will bet, if I was a betting man, I haven't got a house, so I'll bet Alan's house. I'll bet Alan's house that there's no other therapy that can match what we have here with the oils, because they got all the missing links, and it's absolutely brilliant. And I see that in the blood. You know, like I said before, all these supplements I've used over the 30 years, I haven't seen a big change in the blood, but every person I've treated, am I supposed to say the word treated? You've got to watch what you say everywhere now. And I've seen a change in the cells. The spark is coming back, so when you get the spark in the cells separate. When they're all clumped up, there's no oxygen, there's no electricity, etc., etc. So I've seen a massive change just by my clients using the oils, because also it has light therapy, energy therapy, music therapy, sound therapy, antioxidant therapy, oxygen therapy, frequency therapy, all in one. Why would you want to use anything else? You know what I mean? I just get really excited about this. So I just want to say that we're on a good thing. When you're on a good thing, stick to it. And I think if the master physician, Jesus Christ, used them and told his disciples to use these oils, then that's good enough for me. I've used just about every remedy on the face of the earth. Machines and all sorts of things, and even the frequency machines. When you get a frequency machine, a lot of those work to some extent, but again, wouldn't it be more ideal if you get something from nature? You get it from a plant, you grow it in the best possible soil that you can, and this is what Gary Young has done. He's researched and researched and researched, and he has made sure that not only the plants were good, but the soil. So the plants can't be good without good soil. Okay? So you need the good soil, and then he grew the plants the right way, and then he picked them the right time, like ylang ylang. Most oil companies, pick it through the day. The best time to pick ylang ylang is between, midnight and 4 a.m. So Gary went the extra mile to get the best possible oils, the best possible remedies. And I would guarantee, if you asked any company, any supplement company, have you got all the musical notes in there? Have you got all those 7 therapies in one? Do you grow your crops in high brick soil? They would probably say no, or go away, It's a stupid question because they don't know anything about it. Okay, I might finish there. I did finish before 9, and that's awesome. So if there's any questions, I've probably forgotten a lot of stuff, but I can cover it next time. I'm happy to answer them after I get off, okay? So I hope you guys have a great day and keep oily. God bless you.
Blue sky smiling on me, nothing but